Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Tuesday, January 19th. Ted here. And tomorrow's the 20th, and will be the inauguration taking place, inaugurating Joe Biden as the next president. So, as this is going on, by the way, you have 12 National Guard troops have been removed to protect the inauguration because of possible links to extremist groups. So this is just something I want to point out because people are being targeted because of something that they believe in. Maybe they sent out a text saying something, but out of all the 12 people, only two of them were removed because of supposedly text or something that they sent online. But out of all the thousands of troops there, what would these two possibly do? So anyway, they're being removed, being targeted because of their right-leaning beliefs, and that's not freedom. That's 1984, ladies and gentlemen. So tomorrow, whether you like it or not, Biden is going to be inaugurated. You still have a group of people out there who believe that some point after this inauguration, Trump is still going to somehow make a comeback and take power after that. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I mean, it's starting to really look like a stretch now. It's really, those people are really smoking the opium because as of tomorrow, whether you like it or not, you're going to have a new president. And he's going to really have to pull off some kind of Hail Mary to make anything change that at this point. And you have the capital of the United States set up with a green zone looking like something out of Baghdad. This is what it's coming to in America. You have to have all these troops there to protect the most popular president ever, supposedly, right? Does that make any sense? And with this new administration coming in, make America California again. That's Biden's plan. And I've been saying this for weeks and weeks to you guys. Perfect example of what you're going to get with a Democratic administration. And once again, let me tell you, I'm not Democratic, I'm not Republican. I don't believe in either of those parties, and I believe they're both two sides of the same coin. But if you want a very good representation of what you will get with a Democratic run country, look to the states that are run by the same group of people. California is one of them. Now, this mainstream news article is pointing out the same thing that I've been saying for weeks. But what I'd like to point out that they don't really point out is California is not really that beacon of hope that we're going to look for, okay? California is broke, running out of money, homelessness out of control because nobody can afford to live in California. Rich people are leaving California, which is going to make the taxes go up even more, which will make it even more unaffordable to live in California. Like I said, you have the homelessness. Is this what we want our country to have? Unaffordable living, crazy unemployment, crazy homelessness, food lines. Is that what we want America to have? Because that's what Joe Biden's plan is. Look at what's going on there and you'll see what Joe Biden's plan is. I've been saying that, and I've been saying I don't think that anybody really wants that. If people could change that, I think they would love to leave California like they're doing. Just last week, I brought you an article about the exodus from California picking up steam, which means it's gaining speed. Why would we want the country to be like that? We want people to leave the country too? Anyway, with that all going on, I also warned about universal basic income. Speaking of which, you should be getting, if you've got the $600 check, they're already working on getting out a $1,400 check to make it to the $2,000 mark that they were talking about. A lot of people have not even received that 600, and supposedly there was problems where it got deposited in no longer open accounts. Either way, and they're going to make it up supposedly on your taxes. But like I pointed out many times on this show here, if you're far behind and you are relying on that money to help you in any way, which 600 was already nothing to speak of, but every little bit helps. But if you were relying on that and now you still have to wait some more, if you didn't get it, we'll get it to you in your taxes. and they keep you waiting with that carrot dangling in front of them because you're dependent on that. But here's an article saying what I've been saying. This 2021 could be the year of universal basic income across America. You have 30 cities across the country trying to put this into effect. They're calling it guaranteed income, but if you look right down here, it says it right in the article. Blah, 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 blah. It's often referred to as universal basic income, and the idea was recently repopularized by former Democratic presidential candidate and current New York City mayoral candidate Andrew Yang. I just brought you that article last week as well. I didn't know about the 30 cities. Now, I didn't never find a list. I'm sure there's a link in this article somewhere. Go check it out for yourself. I don't know the list of all 30 of those cities, but I can almost guarantee you a huge majority of that group of 30 cities is going to end up being Democratic. I don't know that. I don't want to misspeak, so don't quote me on that, but I can almost guarantee that. And as good as it sounds to get a check guaranteed to come to you, where does it come from? You cannot just keep creating money out of thin air without paying a consequence at some point. It's great to receive that check when you're in need. It's great to just get a check, even if you weren't in need, to get a check to help you out. That's awesome. But somebody down the line has to pay for that money. You cannot just create money out of thin air. And that's what we've been doing for a long time, and at a really accelerated rate since 2008. And now you're talking about giving out money for free, guaranteed income in 30 cities across the country. That's a lot of money. Where does it come from? And with all these people needing this money, you got this huge inequality, this wealth gap between the rich and the poor, the haves and the have-nots. Goldman Sachs during the pandemic has had huge earnings while shutting down small mom and pop shops. Places like Goldman Sachs and Walmart and all these big corporations, they've done great. They haven't skipped a beat. As a matter of fact, some of them have recorded record profits during this. That just tells you where we're at. All right? And they want to give money away, more money. Of course, Goldman Sachs would love to give all that money away to keep giving it to these people who go out and buy big screen TVs and keep themselves deep in debt, because guess what? They keep having record profits. And now you have a new challenge to what's going on. Mutations are rising along with the cases. And I've said all along, we've had months and months of data suggesting it's not quite as deadly as they say. And while saying that, I also say one of the things we have to watch out for is mutations, because this thing could mutate. All it takes is one mutation, and this thing changes from, say, it doesn't affect kids to now it does affect kids. It has already changed to be more transmissible, easier to transmit from person to person. All it takes is one jump and one mutation to turn it into not that deadly to very deadly. So far, statistics have shown us you have a 200% chance of dying. That's of right now. But with all these mutations, this could become more and more serious. And now you have mainstream media pointing out what I was warning about the whole time, and how bad it is and how fast it's actually mutating. And if you go read through the article, I'm just going to read you a little bit because it kind of indicates for me what I'm trying to get across to you guys is, okay, the race against the virus that causes COVID-19 has taken a new turn. Mutations are rapidly popping up, and the longer it takes to vaccinate people, the more likely it is that a variant that can elude current tests, treatments, and vaccines could emerge. The coronavirus is becoming more genetically diverse, and health officials say the high rate of new cases is the main reason. Each new infection gives the virus a chance to mutate as it makes copies of itself. threatening to undo the progress made so far to control the pandemic. I want to point that part out. They're stressing to control the pandemic. And on Friday, the WHO urged more effort to detect new variants. The US CDC and Prevention said a new version of the first identified in the United Kingdom may become dominant in the US by March. Although it doesn't cause more severe illness, it will lead to more hospitalizations and deaths just because it spreads much more easily. CDC warning of a new phase of they're warning of a bigger phase of growth. And they're taking it really very seriously, said Dr. Anthony Fauci, the US government's top infectious disease expert, said Sunday. Now, once again, I'm not for the Republicans or the Democrats, but people that were there before stood up to Fauci, and we didn't do exactly everything he wanted us to do. If Fauci would have had his way, we would have been locked down much longer. And this next paragraph, it says, we need to do everything we can now to get transmission as low as we possibly can, said Harvard University Dr. Michael Mina. The best way to prevent mutant strains from emerging is to slow the transmission. And the reason I'm stressing that is because that is the same exact language that Dr. Anthony Fauci was using right before we had lockdowns. It was the same language that they were using to keep us locked down. And now it's the same language that they're using to tell us that the virus is getting worse. And I'm assuming that they're going to have to lock us down again. More extreme rules, more extreme measures, more lockdowns. Because the article goes on to say that they really don't know if this vaccine is going to work. So, stay ahead of the curve. Go out right now. They're telling you they're going to take steps, and they're taking it very serious. And they are going to try to slow the transmission. And that's exactly what they told us last time when they locked down. So get ready. If you haven't already gotten ready, it may be a little late, because tomorrow they warned there could be violence. I don't know. They've warned it from the weekend coming all through this week. There's not been much. There's been some small protests, but who knows? Hopefully you're ready for that, and you can hunker in if need be in your area. It could only be small pockets around the country. Maybe it won't be as widespread as they claimed it to be. Maybe it'll be just in these small pockets, like I said. Maybe it will be in Washington. I don't know. But as of right now, there really hasn't been signs of some huge uprising, and that is good for our country, because that's not how we need to do it yet. Anyway, guys, go out, get prepared. Get the things that you can, that you're going to need to hunker in. Food. If this thing was to go a long time, I mean, it's kind of late for this particular situation, but even if we get past this, you're not going to want to stop getting ready. That's the whole idea of being prepared, is you slowly take steps to be prepared for an incident that we don't even know is coming yet. And then when it comes, you're prepared to hunker in then and there, right then and there, because you might not have warning. Anyway, guys, let me get a thumbs up. Let me get a subscription. Please, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't be scared. Be prepared. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Be safe.